and thank you to Jurassic Collectibles for oh, it's Card Fresh Muldoon. What's that? Your card isn't fresh. Oh, I see. Well, it is ripped and a mess. I could try and make it better. I guess I could recreate it in Photoshop, print it out, and oh, there he goes, leaving the review table. Anyway, yes, thanks for allowing me to come on the channel and share with you something I've been working on for the last few weeks. We're looking at this. It's a recreation of the 1993 Jurassic Park Cardback for the Alan Grant figure. The toy and the packaging holds a lot of memories for me. I was 8 when the film came out, and I remember getting all of these figures for my 9th birthday. The packaging and the colour scheme is etched on my brain. If I buy them, I'm a mint-in box collector, or sealed in the case of the action figures, but the prices for these original figures is astronomical. So I managed to get 3 of the original line from eBay, but they had all been opened, but still with all the packaging. That's pretty much essential to do this because the plastic bubbles are all unique to the figures and the accessories. With the recent re-release of the real Ghostbusters action figures, which also has some great memories for me, I started thinking about what a re-released Jurassic Park first wave might look like, and this is as close as I could get. The card has been completely recreated in Photoshop. I downloaded a font called Jurassic Park, which closely resembles but isn't 100% to the original, and the other font used on the packaging is Helvetica. The logo is the yellow version. It's my favourite version, but it's slightly different to the one normally seen in that it has a red and white outer circle. And it's the same on the back. We've got a mix of the Jurassic font and Helvetica for the text, which I copied from the original cardback. The pictures are from the original scan, but all the text had to be recreated so it looks better when it's printed. And of course you'll need a corner hole punch to get those rounded corners, and that's a 10mm one. The J hook that's on the original card, as you can see it there, you can buy a Euro hook hole punch but not J hooks, and I have no crafting skills whatsoever, so this card is going to have to remain unpunched. I think it looks quite nice. So anyway, that's my first attempt. Unfortunately, my printer did run out of ink. As you can see here, the bottom of the card has gone purple, but the amount of test printing and cutting and measuring and gluing just to get to this, it wore me down really, and my wallet. So I'm keeping it as it is. I'd say unless you have all of the tools, this is an expensive thing to do. One printer ink provides about 3 or 4 card backs before it runs dry. Then you need the glue to stick the front and the back to some card, you need the glossy photo paper, you need cutting tools, and you need to buy the figures themselves. I know I sound negative, it has been fun, but maybe I should have just bought mint on card figures with the money I've spent on ink and glue. Anyway, I hope you'll join me as I run through the steps to take with the other 2 figures I've got. We've got Ellie Sattler, here she is, opened as well. Does come with the card, I've just taken it out, and we've got Robert Muldoon to recard. So here we are in Photoshop. This is the finished card. This is what it would look like. We have to start here with a scan of the original card back, which is basically going to be the template for the puzzle. So we'll redo all of the individual elements as we go. So I've got the logo from Google, I've downloaded the Jurassic Park font, I've got Helvetica on Photoshop, and we'll just place all of the bits on top. So we have to start with two gradients. We have a gradient sunset at the top and then a gradient sunset in the little square that's behind the bubble. The reds and the yellows are important to get them to pop off the page. So I've used a CMYK very bright red and a very bright yellow. Then we just cut the sunset. We had the trees, we had the grass, we had the logo in there. The trees I got from JP Toys from an instruction manual, which was in black and white, so I was easily able to get the trees out. And then we just placed the text over the top. It's pretty simple. The ribbon was the hardest part. I had to use scans from the original card and a little bit of tweaking just to extend it past where the bubble had ripped it. But overall, not too difficult. It did take a long time messing about with positioning and stuff, but not too bad. So this is always the horrible part. The cards lift away so we can remove the inner plastic, and to do this, I'm afraid, look away now if you don't like cards being ripped, but we have to take this off the card. I can just do it gently. There we go, and the bubble's away. That's that one. Same with Ellie. Card comes off, take the figure out, and then we just gently prise away from the top. Oh dear, ripped. But there we go. So the bubbles are off. The bubbles were heat pressed as far as I know, so this isn't glue, this is just the heat has adhered to the paper underneath, and the only way we're going to get that off is by soaking them. So we need hot soapy water, and then we just simply dunk them in. Leave them to soak for 10 minutes or so. It is hot and I don't want the plastic to get too flimsy, so just a short soak. So as you can see, the card is coming away from the plastic, but because of that heat, you can see here, this isn't card. This is actually imprinted onto the plastic, so we're going to have to get a scourer and try and get that off. What I have to do is get a scourer and just scour the edges. I suppose you could use a magic eraser. You can see here that I've got wet hands. I'm trying to focus for you. There, you can see there we've got the ink, which is what we need to get off. So if we keep scrubbing, you can see there it comes away, but it is an arduous job. There we go. A clean bubble. Right, so we sprayed it with glue, the adhesive. Then we take the top card, line it up as best we can. You've got to be quick with this because it doesn't peel off too easily. Just line up the top corner. There we go. And then push down. Yeah, there we go. And we've got our card. There we are again. Happy with that. And there we go with a little bit of trimming. They've not come out too bad. So we've got the bubbles dried now. What I like to do is just go over them with a little bit of lighter fluid, which will get rid of any glue that remains or any stickiness that you don't want. It's also good for cleaning and it'll evaporate very, very quickly. The lighter fluid doesn't really get any of the ink off. It does help a little bit, but it's not for that purpose really. It's mainly to clean it of residue, and then it'll help us when we put the double-sided tape on the back and stick them down. Got a little bit of ink still on there, but it doesn't matter too much because it should line up, so it'll be, the black will go on the black card, so you won't really notice it. There you go. Also an opportunity to clean out your figures. I noticed there's a bug. I don't know if that's going to focus. Oh, there's a bug in here, so I can just squeeze him out. There he is. Not quite sure what kind of bug that is, but it gives us the opportunity to clean the inside bubble, make it look clean and fresh. The final thing to do before sticking them down is you'll need a corner cutter like this. This is a 10mm one. And basically put it in the card like that and squeeze. Mine's cheap, so unfortunately it doesn't go through as well as I'd like. You can see there it's not really cutting very well. So then I go around the other way and try that side. And around the other way. And then eventually you get that click. Well, you hope you do. Let's put it in again. And no one wants to see a grown man cry, so I've off camera cut my corner. If I can focus, which apparently it won't, but you can see there I've done the corners. So all that's left now is to stick them down, which is the scariest part. So I need the trading cards. So this is it. We've got the figure placed there. We've got the tape off. Just need to place the card back where it belongs. We just have to roughly line it up. When we're happy, put down a corner. Make sure you're wearing your brown trousers when you're doing this. There we go. And then push down the edge. Make sure it seals nice and tight. Is done. Now on to Ellie. And just taking the final bit of double-sided tape off. It helps if you've got long nails, which I don't. There we go. Right, all the tape's off. So, again, got our card. Get the action figure in a bubble. Line it up where we want it. Nice. Pop in the trading card, flip it over, don't press down yet, line it up, make sure you're happy, and push it down. And here we are, all done. If I've learned anything from doing this, it's that you can't be a perfectionist. Home printers cannot and will not print the same as commercial ones. You cannot get the colours exact, and I've changed the design in Photoshop dozens of times to get it as accurate as I could. But then I started reading up about colour, and I changed the design from RGB, which looks lovely on a backlit screen, to CMYK, which is cyan, magenta, yellow and black, which is the colours available to your printer. And then I chose reds and yellows and a black that would pop when printed. For instance, black, as I've discovered, isn't just black. You can set the CMYK value to make blacks pop more. So the black we're using on the trees is 30 cyan, 30 magenta, 30 yellow and 100 black. No idea, but there you go. The Jurassic Park font isn't exactly the same as the original card back. The G on the Alan Grant, for instance, looks slightly different. Actually, I've got it here. So you can see the G on this doesn't quite match up with the G on this one. But I've just got to let it go. When I started thinking about these as display pieces and recreations that I imagined could have been released by Hasbro, like the real Ghostbusters figures, which weren't 100% the same as the originals, especially here in the UK, I think that stopped bothering me. So I'm not trying to fool myself or anyone else that these are original. They're not, and you can see that, but they do look nice, they feel solid. And I think it's a nice way of showing them off if you can't afford the originals. It's a replication of the classic 90s design. If I manage to find Tim and Nedry at a reasonable price, I might do this for them as well. And then there's the Dinosaurs from Wave 1 too. I'm not sure. But for now, I've achieved what I set out to do, and I've scratched that itch and transported myself back to the feeling I had on my 9th birthday. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and let me know in the comments if you think this is something you might like to do.